found some more kindred spirits? So delightful. Let's see what happens next. We have chapter 20. It's called A Good Imagination Gone Wrong. Let's dive in. Spring had come once more to Green Gables. The beautiful, capricious, reluctant Canadian spring, lingering along through April and May in a succession of sweet, fresh, chilly days with pink sunsets. The maples in Lover's Lane were red-budded, and little curly ferns pushed up around the Dryad's bubble. Away up in the barrens behind Mr. Silas Sloane's place, the mayflowers blossomed out, pink and white stars of sweetness under their brown leaves. All the schoolgirls and boys had one golden afternoon gathering them, coming home in the clear, echoing twilight with arms and baskets full of their flowery spoils. "I'm so sorry for people who live in lands where there are no mayflowers," said Anne. "Diana says perhaps they have something better, but then there couldn't be anything better than mayflowers, could there, Marilla? And Diana says if they don't know what they are, then they won't miss them. But I think that's the saddest thing of all. I think it would be tragic, Marilla, not to know what mayflowers are like and not to miss them. Do you know what I think mayflowers are, Marilla? I think they must be the souls of flowers that died last summer and that this is their heaven. But we have had a splendid time today, Marilla. We had our lunch down in a big mossy hollow by an old well. Such a romantic spot. Charlie Sloane dared Artie Gillis to jump over it, and Artie did because he wouldn't take a dare. Nobody would in school. It's very fashionable to take a dare. Mr. Phillips gave all the mayflowers he found to Prissy Andrews, and I heard him say sweets to the sweet. He got that out of a book, I know, but it shows that he has some imagination. I was offered some mayflowers too, but I rejected them with scorn. And I can't tell you the person's name because I vowed never to let it leave my lips. We made wreaths of the mayflowers and put them on our hats, and when the time came to go home, we marched in procession down the road 2 by 2 with our bouquets and wreaths singing My Home on the Hill. Oh, it was so thrilling, Marilla. All Mr. Silas Sloane's folks rushed out to see us, and everybody we met on the road stopped and stared after us. We made a real sensation. After the mayflowers came the violets, and the violet veil was empurpled with them. Anne walked through it on her way to school with reverent steps and worshipping eyes, as if she trod on holy ground. "Somehow," she told Diana, "when I'm going through here, I don't really care whether anybody gets ahead of me in class or not. But when I'm in school, it's all different, and I care as much as ever. There's such a lot of different Annes in me. I sometimes think that is why I'm such a troublesome person. If I was just the one Anne, it would be ever so much more comfortable, but then it wouldn't be half so as interesting." One June evening, when the orchards were pink blossomed again, when the frogs were singing silverly sweet in the marshes, above the lake of shining waters, and the air was full of savor of clover fields and balsamic firwoods, Anne was sitting by her gabled window. She had been studying her lessons, but it had grown too dark to see the book, so she had fallen into wide-eyed reverie, looking out past the boughs of the Snow Queen, once more bestarred with its tufts of blossom. In all essential respects, the little gabled chamber was unchanged. The walls were as white, the pincushion as hard, the chairs as stiffly and yellow and as upright as ever. Yet the whole character of the room was altered. It was full of new, vital, pulsing personality that seemed to pervade and to be quite independent of schoolgirl books and dresses and ribbons, and even of the cracked blue jug full of apple blossoms on the table. It was as if all the dreams, sleeping and waking, of its vivid occupant had taken a visible, although immaterial, form, and had tapestried the bare rooms with splendid filmy tissues of rainbows and moonshine. Presently, Marilla came briskly in with some of Anne's freshly ironed school aprons. She hung them over a chair and sat down with a short sigh. She had had one of her headaches that afternoon, and although the pain had gone, she felt weak and tuckered out as she explained it. Anne looked at her with eyes of sympathy. "I do truly wish I could have had the headache in your place, Marilla. I would have endured it joyfully for your sake." "I guess you did your part in attending the work and letting me rest," said Marilla. "You seem to have gotten on fairly well and made fewer mistakes than usual. Of course, it wouldn't exactly be necessary to starch Matthew's handkerchiefs, and most people, when they put a pie in the oven to warm up for dinner, take it out and eat it when it gets hot, instead of leaving it to be burned to a crisp. But that doesn't seem to be your way, evidently. Headaches always left Marilla somewhat sarcastic. Oh dear, poor Anne.